And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Blake Nemelka, our keynote speaker. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Nemelka. He has spent the last decade in higher education administration roles. He received his PhD in learning design and technology, graduating summa cum laude from the top-ranked Purdue University. He published his first book with a top 3 publishing firm out of New York, Simon & Schuster, in 2016, and he's published dozens of award-winning articles since. Dr. Nemelka has also received a master's in education, magna cum laude, from the #1 ranked Vanderbilt University, Peabody College of Education, and is the only student to ever triple major magna cum laude in less than 4 years, with 3 business degrees from Utah State University's Huntsman School of Business, where he was also on a full-ride leadership scholarship and a member of the NCAA Division I men's tennis team. Blake is an adjunct professor, currently holding an online lecture appointment for doctoral students in the College of Education at Purdue University, where he also sits on the board. He also holds an adjunct appointment with Newmont College, where he teaches interpersonal communication and educational learning theory. Blake has worked in university leadership roles at Western Governors University, the University of California, Santa Barbara, Purdue University, Utah State University, and Utah Tech University. In 2023, Dr. Nemelka joined HCA Healthcare, the nation's largest healthcare organization with 180 hospitals, 300,000 employees across 22 states, and Blake is on the executive team there as the Vice President of Academic Affairs and Clinical Operations for HCA's Healthcare Mountain Division. He helps upskill current employees and recruit new employees through robust educational program partnerships, particularly in the areas of nursing and healthcare. Graduates, you want to know Blake. I want you to know Blake. Blake resides in Harriman, Utah, where outside of work he spends time with his family, including 5 young children, competing in as an Ironman triathlon athlete and volunteering as a member of the Salt Lake County Board of Health. I would love it if you would please now help me welcome to the podium Dr. Blake Nemelka.
Welcome, graduates, family, and friends. I'm excited to be speaking to you for the next 10 to 15 minutes, as I believe our lives and stories are perfectly intertwined. Interestingly, when I texted my family about this opportunity to speak to you, I was asking for their advice. I was slightly disappointed in their responses. My twin brother never wrote back, because he's probably barely surviving a cross-country move with his wife and 5 kids. My 19-year-old sister hearted my text, no advice. My mom was ecstatic, but then she asked me what I was going to be wearing. I didn't text my dad or stepmom. I'm kind of mad at them right now. I should probably get over that soon. My daughter, Alice, asked, "Who's Joyce?" My son, Max, wrote back, "I'm sad Gomez left RSL." One of my grandmas said she'll just watch the recording after. And my other grandma said, quote, "I don't know or care what you say. I never went to college." It's all right. I'm mad at her too, because just 3 weeks after some major relationship trauma, she had me watch The Notebook with her when staying at her house. That was fun, not traumatizing at all. Okay, so I assume you're wondering a few things. Who is this seemingly accomplished guy, and what does his resume have to do with my day of celebration? I hope he doesn't make me sit here too long, and will his words resonate with me and my story? He seems somewhat normal, and hey, I heard the word trauma, so you mean his life isn't perfect? Nope, far from it. When I was teaching communication at Purdue, I learned that when connecting with others, especially in a presentation or public speaking setting, we should show both credibility and relatability. This is a balance that I've tried to strike throughout my career and in all of my relationships. For example, let's talk about that introduction for a sec that your president wrote about me, or read about me. I wrote it. I made myself look good. That was pretty cool, President. Thanks. I certainly sound extremely credible to be speaking to you today. While all of my accolades and accomplishments are certainly technically true, it's only one side of my story, the credibility side. The same side your aunt only shows on Instagram. Well, as we all know, there's always two sides to every story. So let me read you another bio. This one is also 100% true. It might just make me a little bit more relatable to you and extremely vulnerable. Blake Nemelka grew up in Salt Lake County, where he moved a dozen times before the end of high school. He's lived with mom and dad, aunts and uncles, mom and step family, just mom, mission companions, wives, yes, plural, but not in the Utah way you're thinking, with my kids, and now alone with my dog Jack and sometimes my kids. Blake's already been married twice. One marriage lasted 10 years with 4 children, and the other marriage lasted 2.5 years with 1 child. Score 2 for emotional neglect and infidelity. Blake probably shouldn't be married again, but his therapist, Sue, who's actually here today. Sue, are you here? Sue said, she's here so I don't say anything incriminating, but she says I'm 80% good boy and 20% bad boy, and that, combined with being a twin, a natural achiever who's masking not ever feeling good enough, means that I've never learned how to sit with it or be alone, whatever the hell that means. Blake has been diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Mornings are the hardest. Meds are the best. I highly recommend them. Yes, I do triathlons, but the last one I did, I came in last in my age group, and I was beat by a 75-year-old grandma. To make myself feel better, I still got the Ironman triathlon tattoo, and then I added a sleeve tattoo because why not? Blake actually stopped halfway through 2 triathlons and drove home early, but he kept the medals and the t-shirts. Blake applied to many graduate schools and only really wanted to go to Harvard or Stanford because they sound the best, and he got rejected at both. Blake got rid of Instagram and TikTok. Yep, I think you should too. It changed my life. I promise it'll change your life. Because Blake doesn't like seeing how great everyone is pretending to be doing, and then he posts on purpose to look good too, and then goes and eats large meat lovers pizzas from 7-Eleven DoorDash at night while binge-watching TV series for multiple hours at a time. The first show he ever binged completely was Game of Thrones, and he would do this after leaving work early, not telling his wife, and watching it alone in his car with all the religious guilt and shame that comes from that. In short, Blake can be impulsive and compulsive. Blake has a genetic heart condition that will probably kill him early, like it did his biological grandfather at the age of 25, and almost killed his father 2 times during 2 heart transplants. Blake's mental health journey took a dive last October when his imperfections caught up to him and his family at the time. Blake's situational depression completely took over. All he could think about was leaving this life so he didn't screw up things for others. The ideation was insane, which resulted in ideating over and over about taking his life. Exactly a year ago today, Blake decided to put a shotgun in his car and start the drive. Luckily, the thought of his children and a few very close family members and friends took over in the final seconds, and the drive culminated at the Huntsman Mental Health Institute about 15 minutes east of here. After 3 hospitalizations over the course of a month and a half, a hell of a lot of therapy and drug trial and error, things finally settled at the beginning of this year. Blake's now working, spending time with family and friends, and adoring his children any chance he gets, and still messing up. I would now like to apologize, not really, to my self-righteous family members for not just peeking into the skeletons in my closet, but busting the closet wide open and shining a spotlight on all my skeletons. I'm sure some of my family members who watch this and some in the audience right now are so uncomfortable. Sorry, guys, it's time that we eliminate this perception of perfection. As you may know already, many aspects in life are in a loop of duality or polarities, good versus evil, right versus wrong. One of my favorite lines from Sirius Black and Harry Potter states that we've all got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are. I would expound upon this quote by saying we've all got light and dark inside of us. We will act on both. What matters most is the part we choose to act on most often. That's who we really are. You have a lot of credibility and light going for you. You just graduated nursing school. I don't know anything more than this about you, but I don't need to know more about you than this accomplishment. I know you've spent hours studying, shedding tears, and fought your way here today. And your relatability or dark times may be different than me and others. Maybe you deal with addiction, grief, abuse, relationship issues, loneliness, mental health struggles, traumatizing experiences, financial heartache, etc. You tackled nursing school anyway. You made it, and today is a very happy and proud moment for you and your loved ones. As you may have noticed, I got each of you a bracelet from our hospitals that was on your chair today. We give these out to nurses as part of a bigger package that shows how much we care about each of them and their profession. As I was trying to figure out the pieces of advice I wanted to leave with you today and about your career, as well as delineating what helps me go from those dark times to the light times, everything I was writing down fit nicely into the 3 words on your bracelet: kind, brave, driven. Be kind. We already know that you're all kind. You literally chose the poster child profession for kindness. Translate that into your work with patients, of course, that's a given, but also with your colleagues. There's a famous University of Michigan study about successful teams. They found that the best teams in terms of results have 4 positive comments for every 1 negative. Do this. I've been trying it at work quite a bit. When someone writes an email finishing up a project, rather than jumping right into critique, I throw out multiple comments and then I ask for a change. It's like magic. You're happier, they're happier, you will be wanted and recruited to promotions because of this, I promise. Try it with your personal relationships too. It works wonders. Make sure you're genuine about the praise. Critique is always needed to improve, but we forget to call out the good through kindness. Our world would have a lot less social and political problems if kindness were dramatically increased. Be brave. Your brave is going to look different than another's. I remember a really good speech one time that talked about success in life should be viewed on a graph where the x-axis is time and the y-axis is improvement. If there's some sort of afterlife or success indicator, the judgment should not be about where you started on the y-axis or your success state, but where you ended as compared to where you started. So the y equals mx plus b, or the slope, which I'm probably giving you a little PTSD from stats class right now. The real question is, did you improve and by how much? Your improvement may be less than another's when plotted, but it may be higher in terms of the percentage increase. That's the work. Be brave about standing up for what you believe in. Be brave in defending what is right. Be brave in taking every opportunity that is given to you. And also be brave when you need to do self-care instead of giving in to everyone else. Bravery doesn't come naturally to everyone. It takes practice. I still get a pit in my stomach in many situations in life. But with practice, you can overcome anything. Diving in and now completing nursing school is one of the bravest things around. You've already started and are ahead, actually, of most, statistically, with this education that you have. Lastly, be driven. This really isn't hard. You already know these answers, right? Eat well, sleep well, exercise a lot, get up early, increase your human connection, get rid of social media, stop drinking and or doing any sort of drugs. Really, it's not hard to solve it It's just hard to do it. Like I said, Sue thinks I'm an 80% good boy, 20% bad boy, and I'm okay with it. The 20% actually keeps me pretty grounded. But I'm pushing like hell the other 80% of the time. What more can I do? How can I help others? Whether it's because you're afraid to die without accomplishing much, afraid of not having enough in life, or just your natural personality, dig deep and be driven. I've actually been a little surprised about how many people are not driven. Okay, to be fair, if you're the type of person to come into work, get your job done well, go home without doing more than is asked, that's still pretty great and brave, especially if your focus is on some self-care or it's a season in life where it must be this way. Pick up an ACOTAR book and check out tonight. But not going above and beyond the normal job description is not very driven. If there's a committee you can volunteer for, do it. If that committee doesn't exist, start it. If there's a problem nobody's able to solve, solve it. When you focus on results at work, you will be noticed. This paradigm shift from political ladder climbing through your words to just straight up having the best results at work is a game changer, I promise you. It was for me. My words of encouragement to you today are this. Remember to balance the credibility and relatability. Focus on being kind, brave, and driven. You all just finished nursing school. I am impressed with you, and I'm proud of you. You are such badasses, in my opinion. Use this energy and momentum to keep going. Take the breaks when needed. You're not going to be perfect. I surely haven't. Take notice of when you're swinging too much towards overdoing it and underdoing it. Quick tip, I've always remembered this saying. When you're overthinking, write. When you're underthinking, read. I'm going to repeat that again. When you're overthinking, write. When you're underthinking, read. Again, get off your damn phone and solve some problems. You just finished nursing school. You can do hard things. Okay, so I told you about my visit to the Mental Health Institute last year. What I didn't tell you was who saved my life. It was a nurse, Julie. Julie sat with me as they stripped me down naked to check for weapons and razor blades on parts of my body. I sobbed the whole way through it. She talked me through the extremely personal intake questions. She got me food even though I wouldn't eat it. She weighed me every day. She took my blood pressure all the time. Why the hell do you have to take blood pressure that much? I need like a nurse to explain that. She talked with me. She brought me all the Harry Potter books because I wouldn't talk to anyone. I didn't shower. I wasn't living. Julie saved my life. And guess what? Julie's a recent graduate of Joyce University. Again, congratulations, graduates. The world needs you. Your communities need you. I obviously need you. Just remember, be kind, be brave, be driven, stay vulnerable, and you'll no doubt continue to accomplish great things. Thank you.